Hello, in this video, I'll be talking to you about blog posts. This is a guide for public-facing scholarly blogging in BCM at 200 level, particularly with a focus on the two subjects that I'm taking in spring, BCM241 and BCM215, Media Ethnographies and Game Media Industry. So one of the things that is really important to remember about your blog posts is that you're not just speaking to your tutor, you're not just speaking to other students, you're not just talking to me as the subject coordinator. The blog post is a public media platform. So you are imagining an audience outside of the university. So it is really important to use interesting and original titles for your blog posts. Don't underestimate this. Please don't put blog post 1 BCM 241, right? That's not original or interesting. So imagine you are translating the subject and you are trying to communicate your understanding of the concepts, of the lectures, of the readings, of the class discussions for a public audience. So you have to imagine who this audience is. Doesn't matter if it's a real audience or not. Doesn't matter if there's actual views or whatever. It's the process of learning how to imagine and speak to an audience that is important here, and how to communicate your learning effectively to that audience. This means you must use categories and tags. Please set up your WordPress blogs so that you have categories enabled, and every post should be accompanied by a tag. So you could have the category of BCM 241 or BCM 215, and then you could have the tag post week 1, right? So that helps you organize your posts and tag your content without making the title dull and boring. If you don't know how to categorize and tag your posts on WordPress, please have the courage to say so in the tute, whether it's online or off. Say, look, can someone just tell me how I categorize? And we can go on screen and we can show you how to do that. That's what we're here for, to help you learn those digital literacies. So this sounds quite mundane, but a blog post should be well connected, right? It should be making the most of the affordances of the web. So I don't expect Harvard references. Now, I love a good Harvard reference. If you want to put a Harvard reference into your blog post and make it look even more scholarly, credit to you. But it's not an expectation at 200 level in my subjects. What is expected is a link. So you should be linking to popular news media, you should be linking to popular posts, other websites, but of course, references. Whether that's on Moodle or in the library catalog, I don't mind. The important thing is that you are showing a connection, right? You are showing your sources, and that's absolutely crucial. The post should be making the most of the affordances of the web, using appropriate images and other embedded media, such as audio, video, to help illustrate and augment your content. The blog is a platform, right? The WordPress is a media platform. It's not just about written words. It's about communicating effectively via multiple media formats to an audience. This means images must have appropriate credit and links to a source. So when you embed the image, make sure you put underneath the image the credit to the original source, and then you can link to that source, right? This is a minimum requirement of the blog post. So let's talk more about scholarly blogging, and what do we mean by that? Well, it's kind of somewhere between a kind of generic blog post where you're talking about a topic and an essay. So you are making an argument. You are communicating your knowledge. You're trying to convince the audience of your position and your understanding. So this means that your blogs need to be informed and well researched. So you need to be drawing on the subject lectures and citing them, linking to them. You need to be drawing on the subject materials, including the readings and further materials. And you need to be going and doing your own research and linking to evidence. In BCM241, you'd be linking to discussions about your media niche. In 215, you're linking to examples of your game media text. Scholarly blogging is thoughtful, critical, and analytical, which means that it's not just a surface reading of something. You're attempting to engage at a fundamentally critical level in pulling apart concepts, pulling apart ideas, and offering your analysis via an argument. And you have to do this for a public audience. This is a real challenge. Don't underestimate how difficult this can be. This is one of the central kind of challenges of public-facing, uni blogs, right? Is that you're not just talking to your tutor, right? You are trying to do all of this scholarly work for a public audience, and all within 300 to 500 words or 2 to 3 minutes. This is a complex task. So please do check the assessment cover sheet. When you submit your blogs, you'll be grouping your blogs together and you'll be submitting them via Moodle, via links. Please do check the cover sheet and the assessment criteria. The tutors are going to go through the assessment criteria in the class, but it's really important that you double check what is required in that assessment criteria and in that grading rubric. So, as we were talking about, your blogs are an opportunity to develop your digital literacies. And remember, you did the questionnaire in week 1, so you told your tutor and myself what grade you're aiming for in this subject. So if you're aiming for a credit or above, then some kind of original audio visual work is necessary. This means it doesn't have to be complicated to do this, right? You can just do what I'm doing. Just record yourself to camera. I'm using OBS, Open Broadcasting Software, which is a free download. You just download it, you set it up, and you can record your screen and your webcam. If you don't want your face on screen, just capture your screen. You can use QuickTime if you're on a Mac, or OBS if you're on PC. I don't expect any kind of original audio visual work that you can't do on your phone. And we'll talk more about that in a sec. If you're aiming for a credit, then some level of engagement with the subject lectures is absolutely necessary, right? So this is where you are indicating your participation in the subject, right? You're saying, okay, I've engaged with the material. This is what I understand, and this is how it's useful. Same goes for subject readings. Now, in my subjects, I typically provide a lot of readings. Now, that's not necessarily that you have to read them all from cover to cover. We'll talk about this in the tutes, right? How to use scholarly materials effectively. But you're dipping in, you're doing word searches, you're finding material that's useful for you in those, and you're using them in your blog posts. You're using them in your audio, your video, and you're helping communicate effectively your learning and knowledge about the subject. So we are assessing effective communication, and that means that we're not assessing the aesthetics of your audio video work. Now, if you want to put titles, if you want to put an audio, if you're putting audio, don't make it too loud. That's a real danger. Students sometimes put that underlying audio too loud, so it's too distracting. Again, talk more about this in the tutes. Just recording yourself to camera. So you could write the text of your blog post. You could write your 300 words and then just record yourself speaking that in a video. So I love this when I go to a blog or I go to a news site and there's the text, or I can click on the audio and listen to it while I go and do something else. This is effective communication. This is, speaking to an audience in a way that they want to engage with your text. So you can just capture a few screenshots. You can use slideshows. There's no definitive way of doing this. We just want we want to see you using original audio-video material to effectively communicate your scholarly thinking and learning. Okay, so BCM241 blog post 1, right? Media ethnographies. This is a big blog post. In this blog post, you are going to be telling us about your media niche, or what might become your media niche. Now, remember your research, your personal account of your investigation, of your participant observation of a media niche can be something that you are already familiar with, something that you're deeply passionate about, or you are wanting to focus on for the future of your career. Or it might be something that you've thought about or you've seen someone interested in, but you've never dived into it, right? And I actually think that can be a little bit more exciting when you're trying to investigate something new for the first time. And maybe this is career focus as well. Maybe you've thought, I'd like to do that in the future. I really wonder what that's about. And this is going to be your research about finding out about that career path. So, you might be interested in sport, you might be interested in technology, you might be interested in art. The idea of the media niche is really broad, and deliberately so that your personal and professional interests and aspirations can fit into this subject and make it really valuable and useful to you as you develop an online presence in this niche. So in the 300 to 500 words, 2 to 3 minutes audio video, you're going to be introducing and explaining the media niche that you're interested in ethnographically researching. So it's important to tell the audience why you think this is interesting, what is relevant about it, what is personally important to you, and maybe start to do some preliminary research about what others have said about this media niche, and of course linking and embedding that. So again, you're not locked down, right? You'll be doing your pitch in week 4, so you've got more time to think about it. This is just the kind of first steps in thinking about what a media niche is, what your media niche might be, and the thing that you want to make your major project about. Again, not locked in. So we talked about these, what you're interested in. Okay, briefly describe the ecology of the niche. So what are its key features? Where is this niche located? Is this purely just a phenomenon that exists only on Facebook? Or is this like a fandom that might spill over all social media platforms? If this is a professional interest, say you are interested in social media management for events, right? How is that organized? Is that professionally organized around LinkedIn? How does events work? Do they work through legacy media? Do they work through social media, right? Maybe it's a particular technology that you're interested in, right? Does that technology have a main company? How is that company organized? Where is that company located? What platforms do they use to communicate with? And so on. What are the audiences of this niche? And you should kind of conclude and think about your niche and kind of telling us about how your investigation might enhance a public's understanding of this niche, right? It's not just you're going to learn, but how you're going to communicate your learning to a public audience. Okay, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please send me those on Discord. The details for my Discord account are on the Moodle page. I'm really looking forward to chatting with you there. You can also contact your tutors via Discord. And, I am actually, the blogging in BCM is one of the most rewarding things as an educator, because particularly with projects that are about your interests and about your passions, That's always much more interesting to read and engage with. So I'm really looking forward to seeing blog post 1 for the subjects. Thanks for watching.